Ladies and gentlemen, it's the mouth of the South, John Schiavone. It's downtown sports. This is where sports come home. I am without the beast of the East today, and that is my fault. I wasn't able to sync up with him. I have to say, I've been quite exhausted since the New York Knicks have won the NBA championship. That was the most emotional experience of my life. I don't know how many thousands of people saw me with a microphone in my hand. By the way, shouts out to Shop GLD. If you want custom jewelry, they're the place to go. Go check out that TikTok at shopgld.com. Awesome people. I grabbed up their microphone and they didn't kick my ass or have me arrested. They just let me fucking cook. And I did. And some of you might recognize me as the Nixon 5 guy. Uh, People wanted my receipts. I posted. Shouts to Carlo Jimenez for actually doing an interview with us. And he asked me a question, said, who did I want after the Knicks won? And we were waiting to find out who we were going to play, whether it was going to be the Spurs or the Thunder. They asked me, who did you want, Mouth? I said, Spurs all day. I wanted San Antonio because I knew what was going to happen. We were going to make Wemby run around after Cat. And by the time the fourth quarter came around, he was going to be too gassed to do anything about what the Knicks were going to do, which was come back on them no matter what lead they had, because Wemby was going to have to play a full 40 minutes, and he's not able to. Wemby is going to be a much better player in a couple of years. He hasn't grown into his body yet. When he turns 25, I'm frightened for the league. I really am. It's going to be crazy how good he is. Now, what has Wemby accomplished in these finals? You know what he's accomplished? He's shown the world that he's a dirty player. He's shown the world that he is a guy that will run you over when the ref's back is turned. He's going to throw you to the ground. You know, Wembenyama reminded me of a dirtier Rasheed Wallace. Like imagine you take the mean streaks of Rasheed Wallace and Dennis Rodman, put them into one guy and add it to Wembenyama, and then after that, he'll flop for refs and then complain, "Oh, he touched me." But when the ref's back is turned, he's going to smack you around. He's going to throw you. There's going to be like at least four fouls. And I understand guards assault him sometimes, but the guy's 7'4" playing basketball against somebody who looks like a fifth grader in comparison to him. So, yeah, of course they're going to foul the hell out of him. But, you know, after certain situations, the Knicks decided to send in Alvarado, and Alvarado grabbed the guy by his ankles and flung him to the ground. Got a technical. Mitchell Robinson hit him pretty hard, got a technical. Um, you know, the Knicks were one of the only teams this year, and pretty much the only team that succeeded at it. Were one of the only teams that, just physically dominated Wembanyama all year long. And, Knicks in 5 wasn't just some thing I came up with. Knicks in 5 was something that, if you really watched tape all year long, the Knicks were the one team the Spurs didn't want to see come out of the East, because the Knicks were built to withstand Oklahoma City, and then any other team that came out of the West. Although I would have to say I'm disappointed in the Rockets, very truthfully disappointed, because I thought they would have put up a much better fight against the Lakers. Also extremely disappointed in Denver. Uh, I think they need to blow that thing up and just let other teams absorb those players. So, you know, the Western Conference can, in my opinion, use some upgrading outside of the Spurs and the Thunder. Uh, the East, I'll tell you, has more teams in it that I believe in than the West does at this point in time. Uh, the Lakers, when fully healthy, are a dangerous team, but you know, LeBron's another year older. Luka's another year older. Austin Reeves is good going into his prime, but how much longer do you have with him? That window, I think, is shut. I mean, Bronny James is improving. Or you're just going to wait for LeBron's other son to show up so that dad can retire at peace with himself? I don't understand what LA is doing. The Clippers look okay. We'll have Carlo Jimenez come on a bunch to discuss that as we go forward. But, you know, this celebration with the Knicks was just so great. But Knicks in 5 was a for real thing that I had been thinking about for a while before I said it. So, like a month and a half ago was more, I kind of felt like, at the start of the Knicks and Cleveland series and the start of OKC and San Antonio, that we were going to get a Knicks Spur final and it was going to be Knicks in 5, but I just never officially said it. So, I'm not going to pull claim to something I never officially said. So my proof is there for you all easily to watch on all the platforms. It's on TikTok. It's on this shorts page, so you all can grab it. It's right there. But the analysis reason behind it is Wemby already doesn't play very much. And usually when he does, he's the most physically dominant person on the court. Against the Knicks, that's not going to happen. Even if you get Karl Anthony Towns in foul trouble, he's just getting replaced by, two big bodied people who are going to apply the same, if not worse, pressure on you than Karl Anthony Towns would. Because as much as Karl Anthony Towns is an absolute scoring threat and a physical presence, Mitchell Robinson and Mr. Hawk you know, they present their own physical issues. Both of them rebound well. They play excellent defense. They play body on body basketball, and they know how to do it without fouling. So, imagine you're getting your ass beat, and the rule is you're not supposed to get your ass beat. And, you know, somehow, some way within the rules, because obviously there's no whistle being called, you're just getting pummeled. That's what the Knicks backup centers do to you. So I'm recording this the night before the parade. I will not be attending because I actually have to go do some stuff with World Cup. So I'm going to be checking out those events. Gonna have a conversation with Matt O'Boyle after I go check out some of those things, and then once I have a more you know knowledge of what's going on, gonna have that convo with Mr. O'Boyle, gonna, get everything going, gonna figure it all out, what's happening with the World Cup. He's gonna make his calls. He's gonna tell us everything he knows about what's happening with this World Cup, and if there's any shocks or what he thinks is actually going to happen, if anything super shocking has taken place in his opinion. We're going to get all that information coming up soon. But as we go into this parade and we celebrate this 2026 championship, I'd like to keep the party going. Wouldn't you? I think you would. So I propose something. Let's keep the fun going. OG Anunoby is the richest contract on this team. He gets paid the most money. He is owed the most money going forward. Mikal Bridges, as much as he played an excellent role, both of these guys are role players. As much as everybody wants to kick Karl-Anthony Towns off of this team, he is the number 2 to Jalen Brunson. He's also, aside from Brunson, the best distributor on the team. If he gets going, the rest of the team gets going. I believe, other than Brunson, he is the other untouchable piece. Now, Giannis Antetokounmpo is available. The Knicks, I believe, have a window of about 3 to 4 years to accomplish winning another championship. I'm not saying, oh, they should go out there and win 5 titles. No. I mean, I wish they would. Hell, if you can, let's do it. I mean, why not? The Knicks won a title after 53 years and everybody thought they were dead. Hell, I now have hope for the Jets. Okay, I now have hope for the Jets. Because if the Knicks could freaking win a championship, so can the Jets. Anything's possible now in the land of New York sports. Danhausen has broken the curse, and the Knicks won the championship. My God. Oh man, I'm still sports drunk, guys, but the Knicks should be in. Here's the deal I would do. Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby at their highest values right here, right now. Straight up. Throw in a pick. And in return, I get Giannis Antetokounmpo and Bobby Portis. That's how to make the money work. That's how to get Giannis on this team. That solidifies Josh Hart as the starting small forward on this team. That sets everything up beautifully going forward. And then that in and of itself makes it almost impossible for them to stop Cat from scoring, stop Giannis from scoring. That would just be the most insane combination of players I've ever seen. That would be the big 3 of the ages, and in my opinion, Jalen Brunson would be the best of those 3. Because in this setup, tell me which player was more clutch in helping their team win a championship, Giannis or Brunson. Jalen Brunson went out there and scored 45 of the 94 points it took to put the Spurs away. No team in modern era history has been this dominant going into the finals. And then, even though they were down by 10 just about every game, 1 through 5, other than game 3, they found a way to come back and win. No matter what the deficit was, game 4 it was 29 points. It was 20 points in the fourth quarter of that game. And then about 9 minutes left, Wembanyama gets the technical, and he can't play patty cake anymore. And then in comes Anunoby with the tip in. And I know everybody's going to say I'm sacrilegious for wanting to trade him. I don't want to trade him. I'm just saying what it would take to get a Giannis Antetokounmpo on this roster and win a title again, because I love this roster. If there's a way I could do it without getting rid of OG, then yeah. But I'm not touching Cat. I'm just not. And I'm just trying to figure out what the offer would be, because as much as I love Bridges and Ananobi, Leon Rose has made the correct decisions so far. And he hasn't cared what the fans think and what the fans want. He cares about chips. And I think it's more important to him to keep the chips coming in. I think that's going to be the best move to do it. I mean, the sad thing is about it, I really don't want to give up OG. And I have to issue a public apology. I really don't give a damn about 5 picks anymore. Mikal Bridges was a very key player in winning those championships. In game 2, along with Karl Anthony Towns, it was Mikal Bridges that kept this team alive. I know I was glazing Towns a bit, but it was Mikal Bridges as well. His scoring kept the team alive as well. Towns defensively in the second quarter, along his scoring as well, along with Bridges' scoring, because Towns was setting up Bridges as well. So, you know, that was a collaborative team effort. However, I think if Giannis were to come to this team with Karl Anthony Towns, with Josh Hart, with Jalen Brunson. By the way, this no Mikal Bridges around will allow Josh Hart to be able to shoot and score like Josh Hart can shoot and score. Hart can actually average about 25 a game on his own. Just Bridges wouldn't be in his way anymore. And I think Hart, honestly, could be a better shooter than Bridges. So this upgrades the team. And you give Milwaukee 2 pieces to rebuild around, which are both legitimately good. Both teams win this trade. Just like, in my opinion, both teams won the Minnesota trade. Although a lot of people say, "Oh, Knicks won it." No, my opinion, Minnesota got a very good deal. Julius Randle is doing great things down there. They almost took out the Spurs, and I'm not touching a guy in Karl Anthony Towns. By the way, he everything he said and everything he's done, he seems like the most team oriented player that is on this roster. You can't ask for a better number 2. And everybody looks at OG like the number 2. He's not. It's Karl Anthony Towns. I look at that guy and he reminds me so much of Patrick Ewing. Like his play style, the way he shoots, the way he moves with the basketball in his hand, his particular brand of agility. He looks like almost a Ewing clone. So you don't want to get a guy like that off your team. You can avoid it. And he has deep roots and deep connections to New York City and New Jersey. He doesn't want to leave here. Keep him here. He might take a discount, especially to be a part of a potential New York dynasty of titles. Why not? I think he'd sign up. So if you could get Portis and Giannis here for Bridges, Anunoby, and a pick or two, I thank Mikal Bridges from the bottom of my heart. I would have a statue of OG Anunoby commissioned. I would retire his jersey in the garden when he retires from basketball. That's how much I now love him. And I admit that I was wrong for criticizing those two trades years ago. But now it's time to maximize on value and secure a dynasty. That's what I want. I got my title. But you know what they say? If you give him out the cookie, he's going to want a fistful of rings. If you give him out the ring, he's going to want a handful of them. That's how New Yorkers are. If you give him out his cookie, going to ask for a glass of milk. Give him a glass of milk. He's going to ask for a blanket. Give him blankets. He asks for a pillow. Ask for a pillow, and then he's gonna say, "Good night." That's how that old children's story goes. And you know what? People think, "Oh, we're content." Nah, we want more. So we're gonna go celebrate this Knicks victory. The Beast of the East is gonna be dropping into that parade himself. I got a couple of secret agents that might be at the parade. Never know. But I think I just gave you guys what Leon Rose should do. And to be honest, this is the highest trade value you're going to get for these guys. Go out and solidify the last piece that you're really going to need. Because as much as this was a great magical run, you need that one more piece. Just because you still won the championship. And I'm happy and I love it. And I was euphoric and I was just elated. It's time to think about how to win next year. But I didn't want to think too long because I want to live in sports euphoria. So thought about it. Giannis is on the market. Other teams are after him, and they've great packages, all that good stuff. I think Milwaukee wants two people they can truly build around that understand the concept of teamwork, real teamwork. I just gave the entire outline of what should happen. Anunoby Bridges, and a pick for Bobby Portis and Giannis Antetokounmpo. Deal done, especially now. These were the type of ideas that I was putting forth at the beginning of the year because that's where their value is. Now I don't seem as crazy when I say things like that because this is where their value is. I knew it at the beginning of the year when I was saying we should make these trades. I knew it in the middle of the year when I was saying, hey, why can't we just send Bridges and OG? Now it's the end. OG is the most clutch player I've ever seen, and one of them at least, whose name is not Jalen Brunson, and Mikal Bridges is a dog on the defensive end of the floor. But he can't be a star player on this Knicks roster. And he deserves to go somewhere where he could be the number one. So, in my opinion, you trade them while the value is highest, and you get the missing piece that allows this to not just be the one championship where we can finally say, hey, we did it. We have the big part, the big party, the unifying moment that just lives in history. But now instead, we have a shot at a dynasty. Because trust me, it doesn't matter who they are. They adapt to this culture. Because this culture was set by everybody. Brunson, Mike Brown, Leon Rose, Worldwide West, everybody in that Knick organization. Yes, including Dolan. I know, makes me sick. Guy's crazy. His stupid speech talking about Spartans and other bullshit, but whatever. No matter what it was, somehow everything that happened this year, it clicked. So congratulations to the best New York Knicks team of all time, at least in my opinion. But now, moving forward, I think the deal that Leon Rose needs to make sooner rather than later is OG and Bridges and a pick for Giannis Antetokounmpo, Bobby Portis. That's how you make the money match. That's how it gets done. You give Milwaukee two legitimate stars to build off of, and we get quite possibly the guy, when healthy, who could be the best player in basketball. Because I remember when it was a couple of years ago, putting Giannis skill wise above LeBron James for a little bit, like in that current moment. I would love to get that on the New York Knicks. Wouldn't you? I'm the mouth of the South, and that's my opinion. I'm just so happy that the Knicks got it done. Got it done in five and made a guy in Far Rockaway look like a genius. When watching tape and looking at stuff and figuring stuff out is cool and all, making predictions really is based on what the players actually do. So thank you from the bottom of my heart, New York Knicks. I believe in you and you'll pull through. With that, we're out. Thanks for listening. Shout outs to the professional fanatics.